You are tuned in to What Up Baltimore online radio. Please note that the views and opinions expressed on this channel are of the host and not of Lady J Media. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, What Up Baltimore TV. And if you really don't want to miss any of the shows, hit that notification bell and you'll get a message every time we come on. Now, we got it from here, so sit back, relax, and stay tuned.
I know you do, because that's what I do. I give you that kind of love that makes you come back. I'm your pusher, baby. I'm your pusher.
Hey, little black boy, let me holler at you for a minute. I was once in your place, you should respect what I say. Some of the things I'm about to tell you just may save your life in a world where not much is right. Little black boy, you're gonna see and experience all sorts of things, but don't let your mind be locked in the chains. Hello and welcome to Spitfire Poetry Shutdown. I am your host, John Hansboro. It is February 4th, 2023. If you notice, I'm in all purple today because purple is the color of royalty. All right. So check this out. We're going to kick off Black History Month with some of my favorite poets and some good partners that I roll with. I've done a couple plays with these wonderful people. Just good-hearted people, good spirit. Everybody's got their own thing going on here. There's a lot of networking and things that go on between us constantly. First, I want to say this is being brought to you by Lady J Media. By Butterfly Entertainment. Go to Lady J Media for all the ways to watch the shows on What Up Baltimore. And don't forget to subscribe to the What Up TV channel on YouTube, all right? Also, you can get my books from Amazon and use your favorite and Spitfire Poetry Volume 1 and 2. I want to thank everybody who constantly follows me and supports me. I love you all. I thank y'all. I pray that everyone has a wonderful year this year starting off. All right. So for Black History Month, I wanted to do something where I brought some poets on. Like, I respect all of the poets that I'm around. These three right here are really, I've met Shamise maybe 2 years ago, almost 3. And she introduced me to Aneski, Kemsit, and Victor CEO, the owners of 4 Authors. And ever since it's happened, I've found my spirit has been lifted and I'm able to stay creative. That's why I'm glad I have him on today. It's stuck a little bit. All right. So without further ado, we got Shamise Lady Jacobs at the top there. And then we got my brother Victor CEO, my sister Anna Aneski Kemsit. How y'all doing tonight?
Hey. How you doing, John?
I can't complain. I can't complain, man. Look, we're gonna just get right into it, right? I have a poem that I did in the play that we are all in. I Am Woke Poetical Experience. Okay, it's a play that's written by Anna Aneski Kemsit. And I just wanted to start this off with one of the poems, okay, that's in the play. And this poem is done by Mozart, actually.
Yes.
Look her up on Instagram and Facebook. She's a wonderful, wonderful poet, and she just published her first book, Day Dreams and Nightmares. All right, so you want to look her up. But this is called Justice, and I love the way that she delivers this in the play. This is just a short version of it. I just want to get this out. Justice. Where is the justice for people of color? Is there any justice? An old man told me a long time ago, if you're looking for justice, son, look no further. All you'll find is just us. No justice, just us. No justice for the murder, just us. No justice for the racism, just us. No justice for the brutality, just us. No justice for the rape and massacre of my people, just us. All right. So I'm going to let Shamise go first. Whatever you got, we going in.
I knew it was going to be me.
We going right into
it like that, John.
We going right into it, y'all. I ain't going running no commercials.
Hey, y'all. Hey.
You know?
Y'all are looking beautiful in the yellow. It is absolutely brightening my day. I love us in yellow. I think that is one of our favorite, one of our best colors.
My wife's favorite color.
Really?
So this piece is called Through Our Eyes. Y'all know I don't memorize shit. If you familiar with my work, I don't memorize. So I will be reading it. Bear with me.
Hey, I get it.
It is the beauty of pain needing the rain in order to grow to its full potential. It's the laughter of children and the envy we disguise as pride, as if we don't want to be innocent again. It's the love in eyes that remind us of all its misfortunes. We suffered the worst. It's giving the past to all of what's left in your purse in exchange for a blessing that, much like tomorrow, may never come. It's the thrill of the flight we've never won. It's the sweet dreams we've been sold that didn't work once we got them home. We're the dogs that roam and never gets the bone. We call it home, but to some, it is God. It is paradise. Worth the sacrifice, worth trips across deep waters, worth leaving behind sons and daughters, worth becoming a martyr. To some, it's the only place to find some peace of mind, sensible isms and very little order, but I know what it really is. It's the place where birds' cries for help are mistaken for beautiful melodies. It's the place where my people were murdered in warm blood, yet there were no homegoing services. It's the place we were taught civilization, the place that they stole our legacy and told civil lies to stolen nations. It's a smorgasbord for the greedy-hearted, the place of the untimely departed. We are more than blessed. We'll never know stress because to some, it is a place to seek refuge. It is a better situation than before. It is a treasure, a gold mine to the poor. It is the land of milk and honey. To some, it's what's behind the pearly gates, but not to me. I've only known it to be hell on earth, with no real worth except our souls, a multitude of stolen identities. Therefore, it's a confused child sucking Mother Earth dry. It is the place where we've always known too much freedom. Well, most of us anyway. The contradiction of itself. It is hate in its purest state. Have you ever known one to build the same arms that will make its fate? It's a place of confusion. Excuses, we use them to validate the bullshit we keep between our ears. The same things we pray forgiveness for and about, but to some, it is walking on the moon. It is a place where dreams come true. For me, it's home. Good morning, America.
There we go. That's how we're gonna start.
Good morning, America. I like that at the end. I love that. Good morning, America at the end. That's
yes.
Is that in your book, Shamise?
It is. That is in the new book, Tell It to the Sun. But that poem is, I probably wrote that in 2010.
Really?
And when you think about the fact that it's still relevant in 2023.
Right.
Yeah, I thought about how you have immigrants who still see this place our America as better. And we know, that it is fucked up over here. Like the people, the systems, the institutions, the organization, all of it, but they still find refuge here. And I always thought that duality was definitely something to think about.
So. It's deep. That's deep, sis.
It's definitely deep. Yeah, it's definitely deep because they coming from a place that they could be dealing with pure hell wherever they are, whatever country they in or whatever they dealing with.
Yeah.
And you're right, wanting to come here. I mean, I wouldn't want to live anywhere else in the world, but it's not. This shit is it's not easy at all. We all know that. And then, even with this thing of this most recent thing that's happened with this young man that lost his life.
Yeah,
it's like the anger and rage that I get now is just it's numbing. Like it's just you know what I mean? It's numbing. And thank God for writing because that's one of the only ways that I can release. I'm getting older in age, so I can't do a lot of physical stuff like I used to when I work out. I work out a lot differently now than I did when I was in my 20s. Now being in my 40s, but I was just talking about this with Shamise and Lady J before we went on. Lady J was telling us about the video. It's like I can't even look at it. It's so. I still remember like it was yesterday. Me and my father and my mother and brother around the TV watching the Rodney King situation.
Oh yeah,
like it was yesterday. Like I remember
like
that
it was yesterday.
And
I did
so, like,
something that somebody said that the way that they beat him was far worse than the way that they did Rodney King.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I can't. I'm like you, John. I can't bring after. I'll be honest with you. After the last video with the young man, that man calling for his mother while those police had his knee on a grown man. I have not been able to watch any video of such things since. Right. It's just, and I'm getting goosebumps now just thinking about hearing that grown man call for his mother in the last moments of his breath, of his life. The only thing he could call for was his mother. Being a mother of giving birth to 7 children, it just gives me chills to think of my child. No matter the age, size, it don't matter, crying for me to save them, and I'm nowhere near to help. Yeah. And then I'm in a country where no matter what I do, there is no help. And I'm in a situation that no matter what I say, afterwards it won't fix nothing, won't nothing help. Yeah, so right. I get it. I can't watch the video, and I'm a poet, and say, oh, it was 5 brothers, right? We have these 5 brown-skinned people who blatantly took the life of their own, and then I really want us as a culture to sit and really think, because we was up in arms and all raising hell when them pale beasts came and swiped the soul, but here it is of our own. I hear silence.
Yep.
I hear too much silence.
I just said that to John.
It's too much silence for me. Because it makes me wonder, do we really regard life, or do we just have regard for a mess? You know what I mean? Because, this is messy. This is real messy, but I don't hear nothing. No, there's no march, no nothing. And will there be protests? Why not? Why are we asking, will it be?
I think for this, though. I'm sorry, go ahead.
For me, personally, at 41 years old, I can sincerely say I'm sick of seeing us marching for shit. We've been marching for a long fucking time just to be called people. And there's a lot of talk about things have changed. But when to see something like this happening, and like what y'all talking about, this quietness about what's happened, and it's because as a people we've been beaten down so much that even when we do our worst, it's hard to scream out at ourselves because we've been so mistreated. So now we so conflicted and mindfucked, to be honest, that no matter how terrible a person is, if they look like us, we support them. Or at least don't openly talk about them.
Yeah.
It's sad that it made me reflect, right? Y'all remember when Planet Hollywood had opened down the harbor, right? This was about 97. They had all these actors and actresses down there. Huh?
I wasn't old enough yet.
You saw the commercial.
I was so
yeah, but they had all these actors and stuff down there, right? And I remember me and 3 of my peoples, man, we was living down Pigtown at the time, and we was walking one of our pits down on the boardwalk. And this little Asian family, little Asian girl, started playing in the dog face. The dog growled, didn't move. The father comes. We're thinking that he would either be angry or chastise the child. These adults started playing around in the dog face. The dog sat on his haunches and growled. A cop came and told us we had to leave. Our complaint was we seeing all these dogs walking back and forth with people, and you're not telling none of them to leave. Our dog was not the antagonizer, but was antagonized. We got to arguing a little bit, and there was one cop, a brother, that kept asking us calmly to just walk with me, just walk with me. Finally, one of us had enough sense to bop around the corner and listen to what this guy had to say. And he talked to us about how some of our own people in the police department are worse because they're so busy trying to prove that I'm not them, I'm blue. That they end up like monkeys jumping through a hoop for officers who have less rank than them. And he pointed and showed how all of them had their hands on the holsters for teenagers who weren't doing anything but enjoying the night like everyone else, which means that they're ready to pull that gun. Now, and I'm gonna stop talking after this. A big part of the problem, a lot of people look at me like I'm strange because I don't call people niggas. Y'all know me. Y'all never hear me call a brother nigga. I don't respond to that if that's how you're speaking to me. One of those reasons being is it's so easy to kill niggas. We don't realize how much words are seriously mind fucking us. When you go around calling people your brother, hey sister, hey queen, hey brother, hey God, hey king, it's a different feeling. It creates a different vibration. And it causes you to look at your brothers and sisters like your brothers and sisters.
Right.
You cannot violently call a person your brother. Man, brother, I'll fuck you up. It doesn't even sound right. But nigga, I'll kill you rolls off the tongue real easy, don't it? It's so easy to kill niggas. So that was 5 niggas trying to kill another nigga because that is the mental that we have held on, that we are niggas. And we find weird ways to embrace it. You know, no, we took the word and we changed it and we took the sting out of it. If you took the sting out of it, then why is there so much aggression when you're mad at a nigga? You get real aggressive. The sting ain't never been taken out of it. We fooled ourselves, man.
Come on, bro. Talk about it.
I love it. I love it. And Aneski, whenever you're ready, sis, if you want to spit something, let's keep it going. Then, of course, you know, Vic right after you.
She was locked in like the rest of us.
Man, I forgot I was just in the audience for a second. Man, oh man, and I'm conflicted with that conversation. I actually was going to do the Queen's Cake, but then with that conversation, it brought me back to ISBN.
Come on.
And you know,
yes, please do that one. I love it. Yes.
I got you. I'm gonna try. I ain't did a man, so for to stutter, it's okay. But yeah, with that sense, I'm gonna go and kick ISBN. I'm sick of being a nigga. I'm sick of being associated with drug dealers, crack addicts, bad spending habits, no justice, no matter who's pulling the trigger. I'm sick of stereotypical. I'm sorry. Give me a second. Is that? All right, let's run it back. I'm sick of being a nigga. I'm sick of being associated with drug dealers, crack addicts, bag spinning habits, no justice no matter who's pulling the trigger. I'm sick of stereotypical hypocrites trying to feed off the numbers of politics. Non-profit organizations are a monetary gain, so God help our government. See, once the votes are in, whether niggas is Democrats or Republicans, we still only 3/5. Enough whiskey to get niggas a lick. A life of bootlegging just to pay the rent. I'm tired of economical elements fumigating my environment. Liquor stores on the corner, lead in the water, killing. I'm sorry. Give me a little bit of room. Elbow room. I get a little elbow room. I'm tired of economical elements fumigating my environment. Lead in the water, liquor stores on every corner, fumigating our future like Michigan poison Flint. Synthetic toxins pose the vaccinations, yet niggas is still considered a national threat. I guess it ain't no justice when the police got their foot on our necks. I'm sick and tired of being fooled and ridiculed. The oldest university resides in Africa, but they don't teach niggas that in school. 28 days spent talking about slaves, and niggas still go spend their bill money each and every holiday. It is back to the plantation for a bi-weekly pay. Never mind that the master's been in a big White House all day. I suppose being a nigga wouldn't be such a price to pay. If the roles were reversed, would I live to see the day? Good health and good wealth is all one can figure. But until that day come, I'm sick of being a nigga. I apologize for the minute. It came off top, but him just bringing that subject.
I love it.
Him just touching on that is just so true. You know, we get caught up in being a nigga, and I'm sick of it. Because again, we can accept the atrocity of things that have just happened, like you said, and not think nothing of it because they say, "Oh, we the same color, we are the same." No, you know, that was just 5 niggas trying to kill another one, and now we have senselessness going on, and I personally am sick of it.
Yeah,
absolutely, and I am as well. Aneski, real quick though, before we let Big go, you got to explain how you came up with that title for that poem, because I always loved how you did that. A lot of people who are writers will understand what you're about to say though.
Oh, most definitely. So ISBN, for those who experience publishing and writing, is the barcode that is basically it's almost like the social to your book, to your literature.
Yeah.
And it costs money. And so I was in a situation where I was in the verge of trying to publish some books, and my bank account was of course low, and I was sitting there thinking to myself, every time I go to proceed to do something, I run into certain problems that I feel like our pale counterparts don't run into.
Yeah.
And at that point I was struggling to get the money up, and I was saying to myself, I need my ISBNs. I need my ISBNs. I need my ISBNs. And I said, you know what? I'm sick of being a nigga. Because I felt like at that point in time, that was my holdup.
Yeah.
That was what was keeping me from getting across the bridge, was being a nigga. And I decided to write about it. And hopefully, that poem will be able to fill that bridge up with some coins so that I ain't got to feel like that no more.
I love
but in
it.
the meanwhile, yes, that's how that came about.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Vic, when first I want to give a shout out to everybody who's been chiming in. I cannot even keep up with who
That's
so many of y'all.
Y'all. I don't know who Mookie is, but Millicent is my aunt / godmother. Hey, Aunt
Thank you for tuning in. Shout out to I think that was Pastor Arnetta Thomas. I just saw that too. Shout out to her.
Okay.
Vic, whenever you ready, bro, let's go ahead and do something. I know you got some fire as well.
Vic, push her out the frame like she did you.
Yeah, because I be needing all
Yeah, get on
stuff.
that. Get on that zip.
I like my baby now.
She pushed him all the way out the frame.
Yeah.
Hey, elbow space.
I see. Been running all day, so I'm gonna get y'all to the stop. All right. 28 days. Just 28 sorry ass days for our country to recognize the most heinous crimes it committed. A week extended to a month, so now we with it. Just to recognize the so-called activists with the Afro pics pumping black fists while convincing their oppressed brethren to willfully lay the heads of them and their loved ones on imaginary chopping blocks, submitting to their oppressors while begging to be seen as humans. That's poppycock. We are gods, children of the sun, empire builders revered since the inception of others, the birth of intellect, seeds of the forgotten brothers, nurtured by the mothers that all civilization was born from, Kemetic schools of mystery that we were sworn from, descendants of a land we were never torn from, because we already traversed every known part of the globe and set sail fearlessly into the unknown. Advancing science through nature, our medicines have now been FDA'd, watered down from cure to treatments, lest we stay in peak physical so that we can have peak mental. Homes systematically broken so boxes we fit into, whether it be a 6x9 or trapped by nightmares from all the shit in mind. Now for 28 days, 29 when the year leaps, we're supposed to forget the utopias we created while reminiscing on these integrated streets when we march for peace with boots on our necks and canines, looking for pies in the skies while our meals are being eaten by those guys. That's why I stopped, so I'm going to continue. You want me to honor those who turned me to turn cheeks till I ran out of them. Send my children to the streets with these pale faces slaughtered them. You got me twisted up in what you want me to bend. I'll never fold under pressure. I never let the love and the history that is built into my mental get gone and lost in the winds. And this life that I've been living that y'all tried to convince me was a life of sin because of my brown skin, this flesh that I'm in, I will never fail. I will never honor this month as a month for me or my kind. Because people like me with like minds will understand that our celebration is yearly. Your history is mine, and you will hear me clearly and see that daily. If you don't revere me, you don't revere yourself. Because how could there be a you without me? See, it ain't the jewels and the diamonds that creates my wealth. It's this bloodline I come from. This history, the land of all. You know what I mean? I started writing on this today, right? Because I was really thinking about this Black History Month shit, right? And I remember when I was young, my mother gave me an A to Z book. And for Black History Month, I know I just cut the poem like that. I'm sorry, y'all. I had to.
No, you good, bro.
For Black History Month, she told me that I couldn't do anybody that was from America. This is when I started my study on Shaka Zulu and started understanding what he really did and what the Zulu Nation did and how those in the East were able to impede the expansion of slavery. What a lot of people don't know, it was simply because they were too far on the other side of the coast for them to get away. But Shaka literally broke chains. He literally broke chains to keep his people from being enslaved, man. And we had a talk last time he was on this podcast about Kanye and the stuff he's saying and how people don't like what he's saying. Like, people were really pissed when that man said slavery was a choice. And we all understand that slavery is a forced thing. No one just says, look, enslave me, beat me to do these things.
Right.
But there's a problem with the people, especially when we really are the majority, yo. We have not been a minority in this country, yo. It's a lie. When they started flooding this country with more Europeans to build up their numbers because we were already outnumbering them and slavery was gone. So they were trying to bolster their numbers. Then they used Directive Number 15 of the U.S. Office of Budget and Management to say that white people are defined as any of the original people from Europe, the Middle East, and North Africa to further diminish our numbers here in the States. And they fool us with this all the time, right? So here it goes. When the brother saying that it's a choice, I don't agree that we choosing to be slaves. I do agree that we chose not to fight the way we should have. My son, me and my wife's son name is Toussaint Malik. Malik is named after my brother, man, one of the closest people to me in my life. Love him to life. Malik, which also translates to king, is my son's middle name. His first name is Toussaint. If y'all don't know, Toussaint L'Ouverture was the inspiration for almost every slave revolt in the United States. He's the reason why Haiti is the first free slave country. He ran up in them houses, and a lot of people don't like talking about that history that he killed the slave owners, their wives, their children, and all. Why? Because those children were raising up to be slave owners. And I don't care how harsh y'all say that sounds. We know children are innocent. We get that. But we live in a society that is built on a mentality that some people have to be down for others to be up. They have uneven the playing field because when things are all equal, when everything is level, it is unbalanced for them.
Right.
Not because they are worse off or we're better than them. It's just because genetically there are things in nature that don't harm us, that help invigorate and energize us in a way that puts us on a higher plateau, that helps us to move faster, to learn quicker, to absorb things faster. These is genetics. It's science. These are facts. It is a fact that dark skin and dark hair and melanin that is produced through the pineal gland by all human beings, when it is retarded, it has effects on your balance, on your rhythm, and on your thinking. It's not a thing about hate, man. I ain't got time to be hating nobody. I ain't got time to worry about nobody that's hating me. All I know is that if we don't look at history wholly and totally, then we're going to forget a lot of shit. And we're going to be lost, because we got to also remember, it was some of us selling, because I hate when people always say, well, it was Africans selling Africans, but Africans sold Africans because slaves were a burden. They got fed, educated, and clothed just like your children did. In 7 years, you can marry into the tribe that you were enslaved by. You can become the chief of that tribe. You can buy your way out of. You can go back home to your family. Nobody understood indentured servitude. You a slave because your mother's a slave. Nobody understood hanging pregnant women from trees and cutting their bellies open so their fetuses crash into the ground. These are heinous crimes that have been committed and have never been addressed. I don't give a fuck how many movies they do, because they actually pay reparations to the so-called Jews from Europe for the Holocaust. That happened in Europe. But we can't get paid reparations for here. One of the reasons, and a lot of people that's watching this and is gonna hear this ain't gonna like what I'm saying, is because we not blacks, motherfuckers. Just like we ain't niggas, we ain't black people. Ain't nothing black about your skin. All you beautiful brown-skinned people, look at me. Look at my wife. Look at Misi Poo. Different shades of brown. Scientifically, we are olive complected. We are olive complected because we come from the lightest to the darkest of shades. So holding on to that black skin denationalize you. It takes away your history. Chinese people are Chinese because they are either born from or descend from China. There's no country called black, brothers. There's no continent known as black, sisters. So tell me, how can the Chinese, the German, the Russian, the Nicaraguans, the Dominicans, the British, everybody can trace their lineage and their title to a specific country, except for the blacks, yo. Come on now.
Vic always trying to fool somebody. Ain't nobody want to be in class, Vic. We was here for the poetry.
I love
gave you some more.
Listen, he the only person who can get away with calling me Misi Poo on the internet. I'm gonna tell y'all this now. Bet not nobody
let it be known live.
I'm gonna let it be known. Better not everybody else calling that. That's my Misi Poo. That's my name for her. It's not for y'all.
I love it. School.
Yeah, I do too. When he get going, it's like
you be locked in.
I be locked in.
You can't help it. I learned that though from the first conversation that I had with them. We were still at C Rose's long past closing time, but I learned.
You want to let us go?
Weren't we? you're not going to engage them in a conversation and walk away the same. You can't. It's impossible.
That's some real shit.
It's impossible. So
that's exactly right, man. Both of them. You're right.
You're welcome.
Both of them. You're absolutely right.
You're not gonna walk away the same.
Shamise, let's do one more before we get ready to get out of here. So I'm gonna get everybody to get another one in if y'all want.
All right.
Yeah, that'll work.
He got me thinking. This is another piece from Tell It to the Sun, and it's called Black Sheep. That I wrote because I remember being tired of doing. I'd grown tired of doing what Vic just did. When you become, I feel like when you become conscious of anything, good for your people, and your people could be your circle. You're supposed to educate them. You're supposed to try to motivate them and grow them. But after so much of that, and it's like they're not biting or they're not getting it, and no changes happening, you grow tired of being the martyr. And so I wrote this. I no longer want to sing my grandmother's hymns. They sadden me now. I no longer want to cry freedom from where I landed. The slap that threw me to the floor, I had not expected it to be called a taste of my own medicine. Bully. I was so unaware of just how bad it had gotten. The taste of blood reminded me, though. See, that day I was not prepared or too prepared. Either way, I was still caught off guard. Betrayed by my own thoughts and not lied from my own tongue. Who was I to actually believe that I could save them from themselves? I wish I could find the person who lied to me, telling me that I possessed that kind of power. And now I no longer want to recite my mama's poetry. It doesn't hold up in this place. Don't have the same flow to it. Besides, the words are cold on my sensitive teeth, and my voice no longer projects past my own ears. Call me selfish, but I'm done with being selfish. Call me strange, because I believe that I love backwards, and that being the beginning of evolution. Call me the mad scientist for the solution, but don't try to change my mind. See, I no longer want to believe in the fairy tales I learned as a child. To dream that deep is dangerous. I promise you I won't make promises anymore. Forgive me if you expected more from me. Tell someone else if your feelings are hurt, because I can't guarantee you my undivided attention. I should probably mention, I probably won't even attempt to muster up the energy to care. Don't assume I can't see your troubles. Most likely I've been there, and no, I don't have to visit again. I no longer cast my pearls before swine, sharing the same value as a penny with a hole in it. Just wouldn't make sense. I decided not to care before the sentence was finished, after the last dance had ended, before the DJ's last call, before the dropping of the ball, before the flat line, when I realized we'd never make it to the finish line in due time, because you all kept dropping the baton. I've done this shit way too long. I can see clearly how you don't. I tried to do it for you, what was done for me. I turned the light on. So now, if you stub your toe, it's not my fault.
I like that.
Say that.
Listen,
not my fault.
I get that was tired of talking.
Look, as my godfather would say, let no soldier say, had I known. I knew.
Right.
How about that?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Which one, Aneski, you want to go before Vic?
Yeah, you know I don't like coming behind them, man.
She don't.
You know, John, don't play like that. Yeah.
She playing like she ain't popping. She playing like she ain't popping.
Don't come behind them, man. But I'm gonna do the Queen's Cake. I'm gonna go on and do the Queen's Cake. So high and mighty sit the rich, those who have crowned themselves kings and queens, carnivorous connoisseurs who have spent centuries colonizing, creating countries, conquering natives, and incorporating natural resources. Mutated offspring of our purest bloodlines, once isolated but somehow educated and freed, only to ostracize the very angel of life that chose to grace them from their ignorance. And now they have the audacity to stand over those who have endured the pain of war, disease, famine, whips, and chains with their nose turn to the sky as if to say, let them eat cake. Fuck June 14th. Am I really to be grateful for the recognition of the signing of documentation to reroute slavery? The shackles of my great-grandparents were never loosened, but lessened to the degree that focused solely on cultural castration and the industrial uprising of this corporation, nicknamed the nation, aka home of the free. Fuck King Day. So as to remind the future that physical castration won't be enough to keep my people from violently rising up with fist over fury, with beating down our oppressor to reclaim the land we told on until the days when the sweet chariot would swing low and take our ancestors home. What sense does it make to march up MLK Boulevard? Grand bands and flag girls stomp and twirl while the Republicans can march right up to the doors of the White House, kick it in, vandalize and minimize the very independence that is declared for all citizens, and literally march right out. One second, guys. Ironically, we have graced this landmark with a speech that constantly leaves my people in suspense as we constantly turn the other cheek. Fuck these 28 days used to remind us that we will always be remembered as slaves, receiving less than deserved list of colored people that have contributed to the accolades of making America great in the first place. Our expertise exceeded those considered to be forefathers, the first slave masters who paved the way, establishing a wicked line of defense as justification for why the 10 Commandments do not apply to lawmakers or members of the clergy. I can't be satisfied with just cake. Stereotyped to be a sucker for festivities, throwing parties every birthday, holiday, holy day, days we never celebrated prior to the days they raided the tombs of our pharaohs, robbed of our nationality, assumed to accept the hypocritical crumbs of society, strategically arranged to give us just the bare minimum. Any knowledge as we lack now in these days, a shame of those who are woke. My despise for the crust surrounding the lies of this American apple pie has caused me to be unsatisfied with the slice of heaven that was offered to me by the color of my skin at birth. I refuse to stay silent. I speak the truth. Are we hoping that the sweet morsels of Uncle Sam's delicate dessert would make up for not giving us a whole meal? Blessed be the grace of those that fed us with hog maws and chitlins. My soul is hungry, for I've made peace with my destiny. I was starved before I eat the cake like anime, an indecent gesture meant to emphasize our insignificance with a Memorial Day. Fluffy, no matter how fluffy the buttercream icing may be, the stench and heinous of it is still real to me. The ribbon dressing and candy pearls won't hide their heinous history. And besides, sugar-coated bullshit has never been my cup of tea. So I say that to say, not that I am against celebrating or giving memoir to such things, but I just want us as a culture to stop accepting the crumbs that they give us. You know, they want us to have 28 days to remember what? When are we going to talk about Marcus Garvey? When are we going to talk about Toussaint Louverture? When are we going to talk about the Boji tribe, the women who they just did a movie about, one of the greatest tribes in Africa? Why do they always let our history be what they tell us is? Why do they always make sure our history depict us as less than what we really are? So though that is to say, you know, that is the Queen's cake. You know, they give us just enough to keep us shut up and satisfied with the little morsels that they have given us so far. So I hope we in the future tend to seek more than just 28 days, seek more than just a cookout, seek more than just, you know, the 15th of January. I hope we, you know, we seek what we just do, which is every day, 365, because we do this 365, living in this flesh, living in this color, we do this 365. So I feel like that's where I'm at with that.
How about that? She tells us she can't go at me. She full of shit. She just be wanting us to tell us how great she is.
I love it though. I love it. Y'all, I'm glad I had y'all on tonight because this is helping me. I'm telling you, this is really empowering right here. and positive, and like it's nothing but motivation for me. I love it. I love it. Vic, whenever you're ready, bro, go ahead and do your thing, man.
I'm gonna go ahead, 'cause I know we running short on time. I'm gonna go ahead and get started, right?
You good.
A path illuminated by darkness. I marched constantly, feet tired. My mind was perfectly formed, but somehow got rewired. Unguided, I stumbled along a path of misery, anxiety, fear, pain. I'm constantly listening. Can't hear my God conscious, because to be honest, my mind's crowded with anger, so clarity escapes me. Got me stuck in a place where hate be, probably because I hate me. As I watch slipping through my hands all the time I've been wasting, decisions that left me stuck in a 6x9, squandering these gifts that's mine. And imagine the shock I felt when I realized that my path was never dark. I just had unopened eyes. And to my surprise, my third gave me my first sight. And I saw light so bright it couldn't be dimmed by the darkest of nights. And supreme guidance elevated me to heights that made mountain peaks seem valley low. And I could hear horns heralding my halo's glow as I began intricately weaving a tapestry depicting my life's plights. My new vision allowed me to see they were my passage's rights, the oppositions that built my strength up. Polished my crown, and when it got heavy, strengthened my neck to hold my chin up. Providence divine is awoken a sleep giant. As I see defeat coming for me, I stand defiant. Sight beyond sight, I deciphered the omens. I opened my hands to release the burdens I've been holding and let go of past pains while still holding the lessons. And in my right mind, I learned to turn yesterday's fails into today's blessings. Because every jewel picked from the barren earth I've traveled day in and day out. Lost, I made my way in. Enlightened, I found my way out. Travesties trampled from every step of my greatness. And every burden placed on my shoulders becomes weightless. And I begin to fly till the sun's rays kisses my skin and my eyes. No longer blind, it takes in my reality for the first time. That when I felt the weakest, I was at my strongest. That's why in those worst times, I prevailed, undefeated and unconquerable I stand. Grace I am. As I shine with an incandescence that makes translucent my flesh, I glow from within as proof of my test. And that dark path is now so bright that even in its shadows, I find light.
Y'all bad. Y'all so bad. Y'all so bad.
They got to be the baddest poetic duo.
Listen,
that's married.
They bad.
Damn.
They bad with it.
Y'all, man.
With it. But I think honestly, I've never met our whole collective that we've grown over the whole. I've never met a more humble group of people with so much talent. Everybody is so humble, but everybody is so fire. Like, oh my gosh.
You're right, Shamise. Whenever we did rehearsals, I'm gonna let you go, sis, real quick. But I gotta say, whenever we did rehearsals and whenever we all hooked up, I there was never a feeling of animosity or like, you know, I'm the shit in the room. Never. Like,
everybody,
for everybody to be good and still and be humble like they was. Like, it was. Y'all created an incredible space to be around. Definitely.
Yeah. Listen, I love the fact that we are all genuinely fans of each other.
Most definitely.
Whenever one touched the mic, the rest is just eyes, ears glued, and we, you know, we know that whatever's going to come out, is going to blow us away on all levels. It didn't matter, you know. And so that's what I love about it. I love the fact that John, I'm a fan. Shamise, I'm a fan. I genuinely love when you guys wondering what you're gonna grace me with. I know it's gonna bless me. It's gonna bless me.
I said it before, and I sincerely say it now. Like you say, we all fans of each other, but you could tell us sincerity because I know for a fact every single person in that play has quoted somebody else in that play poems.
Yes.
Has used those poems. Man, when we first did the play the first time, me and Cena kept riding around. Every time we called one of y'all, you, Ashley, Gio, Jasmine, anytime Marco, somebody was quoting somebody else's play, and we realized that how much shit that we said in a day-to-day basis that fit into that.
Yeah.
And it's honestly the reason why I hit so many people the way that it did, because it was impossible not to relate to something in that play.
Yeah.
It was impossible. I mean, think about it. That first play we had, it was a brother in there that dealt with some of our scenes that had to walk out because he literally just went through one of our scenes. He literally physically lived one of our scenes. There was no way for us to plan for that.
Yep.
Right.
But it was so real, so sincere, and so genuine. Everybody's poems, it was real life. It's really what's going on. It's our experiences. It's what we see day to day. And it was so real. For you to not to be able to relate to it, you had to have been on Jupiter some goddamn way with no telescopes to see nothing that's happening here on Earth. You know what I'm saying? Like, real talk.
Yeah,
So
but I love
definitely something in there related to everybody. Somebody could go in and at least one scene or one poem would definitely reflect or make you think about something that you went through. And like my wife told me straight up, because me and her are straight honest with each other about our art, and she had favorites. You know what I mean? She was like, babe, this person, that person was so great. This was my favorite. But like, I like the the creative space and the creative energy that we make is just. And I'm gonna tell y'all, when I was around y'all, I think I wrote like a good 3 or 4 poems within the times that we was all hooking up and stuff like that throughout the months. Because I feed off of energy. I feed off of shit like that. Right. I constantly, when I sit, I try to find, okay, well, what do I want to write about? You know what I mean? What's going on right now? How do I feel? And I feel like it's easier when I'm around creativity. I can take that with me. You know, I could definitely take that with me. Man, look, I appreciate y'all for coming on. You know, I really do.
Appreciate
everything happens for a reason. This was an excellent start for Black History Month. Y'all don't know how y'all have blessed me just now. Like, this was really, really dope, and I love it. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Shamise, start with you. Tell everybody how they can follow you. Then we go down the line.
You can follow me on IG at sjspeaks111 or visit me at www.rvaproject.com.
Absolutely. Vic, how can we follow you? Go ahead, sis.
I was gonna let her go because you can follow me wherever you follow her.
So you can follow us at on IG at 4_AUTHORS. That's 4_authors. You can also follow us individually. He's followed at Deloach Bay, DELOATCHBEY. My stage page is Aneski Anna. John, you can make me change my name just so you can say it right. My stage name is Aneski Anna Kemsit. The title is The Queen of What Life Was Like. Aneski literally means she belongs to me, and that is spelled ANESKIANAKEMSIT. And also you can follow our moving page if you need some moving. We do a little something, everything. You can follow us at Del Vic Move, DELVICMOVE_. I hope I got it all right. All on IG, y'all.
We do it all.
On IG. So, yep. And
so again, and that's Aneski Anna Kemsit. But if you ask John, it's a Sissessi Sissanetta Kemsit.
No, I used to say this when he would host, right? I'd be over in the corner, like, when I look at the name, I know my brother Gray fucked this name up good.
We already know.
I already know. That's when
I
know. I said he gonna fuck up.
I'll be waiting for him too. You don't know what he gonna say, but it's gonna be good. Though.
It's gonna be good. And the funny part is,
with the auntie move, like, you know who he talking about. Come, you know
that's how I do. I know who I am. Right. Look, and he never gonna say it the same way twice. So look, you might as well just get you. You know who you is.
Look, I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Thank y'all for coming on. We gotta hook up, y'all.
Love you too, bro. Love you, Missy.
Love y'all.
Say a name real quick before you leave. Say a name real quick.
Anna Aneski Kemsit. I got you.
There we go.
And Aneski too.
And don't get it. In whatever order.
Absolutely. If you want to be blessed,
Right,
you must bless somebody else.
Safe.
If you like to be blessed,
Hold on one
stay
second. I gotta
safe
turn
and
him off.
vigilant. You want to be blessed, bless somebody else. I love y'all. I'll see y'all soon.
Peace.
Always.
Love you too, man.
Just wanted to let you know that the host of this show appreciates the time that you've spent with them. Now, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to our channel so you can keep up with everything that we're doing. And most of all, thank you for tuning in to What Up Baltimore online radio, where the people have the power.